Into the ropes and off. A flying tackle by and a drop kick.
10 pounds of pure gold.
Got to hold this just a minute. You want a little bit more?
I'm a real heavyweight champion.
Gotta be the best of me. He's more to me than anything I've ever done in wrestling.
They call this the 10 pounds of gold championship. As existed in a certain
That can was pretty hard. And look at Buddy going to work now. Oh.
Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Welcome back. Another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling 2020's Billy Corgan, NWA. We are here running our shows deep into the July period, going into August in the game. And we had a pretty good one last time. We got all of our backstage dealings in order, that we have a bunch of contracts that are going to be ending their final month. I might have to float them out for more, because we do have another tournament going on. If you hadn't seen the last one, we have the second shot. It's a quickie, hopefully, but the Lucha Brothers got a buy on it, and we're going to have some options for some of these wrestlers that one of these other teams are going to get basically a contract back into the NWA. Almost at AEW. Who it's going to be entirely up to me. I don't really know yet who I want, who's going to be in there. So it's going to be kind of interesting, and I think everyone's expecting, probably expecting FTR, but I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I might not go that route. I might go an entirely different direction. Who really knows what direction we really go with it. It's going to be kind of on the whims, I guess. Overall, though, we'll be happy to get the 77 people off our roster, because there's so many people on here that actually don't work here right now. So it'll be nice to just get them scrubbed so we know what we're actually looking at, what we're actually working with. Even that said, though, we're still making money. Thankfully, all these contracts are no downside, because the game's money system is financial system's a lot better than 2016, so we could have pretty much as much of these guys as we want on here, and we only pay them when they show up, which, is how it should be for at least our level, which is nice. In terms of our size, we are still going strong, still 43 now in Southeast. We have a long way to go until we get to that 59 popularity, but I think things will pop faster than we expect. And obviously we have our new options here, our new where are they? World's Heavyweight Champion Miro, having taken it from Brody Lee, and Brody Lee disappearing now after the last episode. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with him, but for now I'm going to kind of keep him on the sideline a little bit. He was a good transitional champ, and Miro might even be a transitional champ for all I know. But for now, it's time to kind of move on to something else. Let's go ahead and let's fast forward on over to our next episode, and hopefully nothing crazy happens in the meantime, and no one gets injured. All right, we're back. Looks like a lot of news happening here. Colt Cabana made a selling off of his wrestling memorabilia for a charity, which is good for him. Awesome Kong's retiring. Mercedes Martinez also retiring. A whole bunch of people retiring going on. Jake Roberts. So kind of an interesting turn of events in the world. We do also have our new shows. So MAV TV and TLN, we're going to be running on now. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how it affects us. Our deal with YouTube USA ends. And unfortunately, we didn't blow it out of the park in our regional battles last. We were second out of third, which is not bad, not great. Middle of the pack, could have been better. Something we have to work on for the future. Nothing else going on crazy, so we just have our show to run. But last month we only made 17,000. So actually, when you think about it like this, as much as that's a little scary, our workers' costs were double due to the tournament. and we still made money, just a little bit. So I could keep every wrestler that we have and still make money. It really gives you an idea of the change in the financials in this game, where I would be drowning in debt. And right now, because we don't have any downsides on people, we could just keep just an obscenely large roster on the payroll, ready to go, and we only have to pay them when they go. Obviously, we're not going to. That's ridiculous. It's just unseemly large for this tournament, but it's nice to know that if you did want to have a big old blowout roster, that it's more feasible in this game. So, silver linings. All right, let's get on to the show. Let's make sure we are in the right location first before anything. Southeast, I do want to be in our studio. We had 434 fans last time. What are we going to have? Still expecting about the same. And I'm not going to run in full sale, but thank you. Don't know why it doesn't default to the thing I own, but sure. We do have a backstage incident. A couple, actually. Zane Dawson, who's still on our payroll, moved to the locker room when he set up a waffle bar and cooked for everyone. Sure. And presumably this is a protege passing on knowledge. Yep, has been passing on tips on psychology to Josh Woods. Cool. Not going to be helpful for us, because I doubt that either of them are going to be sticking around for long. But that's nice to know, I suppose. So our last show rating was really good, actually. Had that great Pillman versus Brody Lee match that really elevated the show. If we can get to 57 every night, I'd be very happy. Don't know if that's actually going to happen. But obviously, just to run down what had happened previously, we started the second shot tournament. The Lucha Bros won a battle royal to get a bye. And we kind of murdered Marty Scurll out of the show. And Tim Storm's issuing open challenges. So that's kind of the flow of things here that we're going along with. So let us get into another episode of Power, and let's see what we can do. All right, guys, we got 65 minutes in the bag, literally the most we can do without doing pre-shows and post-shows. I may do some tournament stuff in the pre-shows. I haven't decided yet. Depends on how quickly I want to get it done, which I kind of want to get it done. So it's a possibility in the future. But for now, we're keeping it all on the show. Let's go ahead and see what we got. We start the show off with FTR versus Classic Can't talk, geez. The Classic Connection. Very quick squash match. 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Dax Harwood pins Levi Shapiro after a Shatter Machine. And yeah, though actually I don't think they call it Shatter Machine anymore. Was it like Goodnight Express? Much worse name, but whatever. I guess they can't use it. Dax is far above everybody else. Yeah, which definitely shows in this match. They got 60, 51, 48, and 39. Got to show off to a strong start. Gave us a 42, not too bad. And FTR moves on in the second shot tournament. After that, we have a medallions elimination match. So for those who have not watched the previous season, the Founders Contract, Founders Championship, is a set of 5 medallions that are fought for and are transferred over anytime the person that holds a medallion loses, eventually leading to one person holding all 5, at which point it becomes the Founders Championship, and they get the Founders Clause enacted, which will allow them to basically buy in to any contract championship match of their choice. So it's sort of like Money in the Bank, a little bit of Gift of the Gods, but basically this is an elimination match for some of the vacant medallions that was last cashed in a while back. So now the belts are, or the medallions are now up for grabs, and this is the first opportunity in an elimination match. And it's a pretty poor match, unfortunately. Just some weaker ends of it for the most part. But Zicky Dice defeats Wheeler Yuta, Ricky Starks, and Sean Studd in 7 minutes. Ricky was first eliminated, then Sean Studd, finally Wheeler Yuta. And thus, Zicky Dice gets our first of the 5 medallions. Now, he can lose that in a match if he gets pinned, even if it's a tag match. But once all 5 are coalesced, it becomes a ironclad contract. Got the crowd hotter, though, even though it was a little bit underwhelming in terms of the segment. And afterwards, we just say, hey, that Zicky celebrates by holding his medallion up. And it's fine. It does okay. You know, a little bit of charisma from him. But yeah, it's not kind of what we expect from a lower card. But Zicky becomes our first medallion holder. After that, we see Tessa Blanchard joining the commentary booth to watch the next match against a former competitor of hers, Thunder Rosa, who is going to be in an exhibition match, and she's going to kind of call the action. And in that match, we have Thunder Rosa versus a debuting Kiera Hogan. This match underperformed from what I expected. It was a technical bout, which both of them are very high on the technical chart, so I thought this would have done a lot better. Thunder Rosa had a 37, Kiera Hogan had a 32. This may have to do more with their popularity and overness in the company, ultimately. Kiera Hogan debuts and gets an initial rating of adequate for her gimmick, and we do advance the storyline with Thunder Rosa and Tessa Blanchard, dragged in the middle with a lack of flow being noticeable. Probably should have scripted it for them. May have helped us. Again, underwhelming. I still suspect that this probably hurt us mostly from maybe the scripting and just generally their overall popularity within the company probably hurt us. But I think Thunder Rosa has like a relatively high technical. It was like somewhere between 60 to 84, and Kiera Hogan definitely did. So I kind of thought this was going to give us a little bit higher of a rating. Unfortunate, but I'm still trying to figure out how to book our women's division to be a little bit more profitable for our ratings. I feel like we constantly get a huge dip from them, but I do want to use them more because I like a lot of them. But 29 is not horrible. Thunder Rosa ultimately defeats Kiera Hogan in 16 minutes by submission, and makes a dominant showing, which, you know, obviously puts her in contendership even though she had lost that triple threat. She can argue that maybe it wasn't her fault. Afterwards, Thunder Rosa sees Tessa at the commentary, obviously can kind of hear her because of how small it is in the area, and hears her just talking shit about her. And so she proceeds to run over there, leap over the commentary booth, and start assaulting Tessa Blanchard, and actually leaves her on the ground. Ultimately, though, we suffered here because we needed a little bit more star power in the segment in order to successfully have Thunder Rosa fighting. I feel like this segment wasn't that long. It was only like 4 minutes or something like that. But I guess it just was a little too long for the crowd and dulled them out. Tessa, though, actually gets the worst of it, gets trampled by Thunder Rosa a bit, and leaves Thunder Rosa with a little bit of momentum coming out of this. Unfortunately, though, maybe kind of burned out the fans, just not enough going on for them. Gave us a 29. It's not horrible. It's been about consistent with what we've been seeing here so far. Oh boy, this is even worse than I thought. So this is Nick Aldis in the interview booth cutting a promo on Miro. I think I had this set wrong. I think I had him set for charisma, and it should have been entertainment. Because I think you can't go too long now with charisma. If you're talking on a microphone, it needs to be microphone entertainment, or otherwise we get this penalty, which is probably what bumped this from what probably would have been a 45 down to this. Nick Aldis in the interview booth, and he cuts a promo on Miro. Obviously, Aldis a little upset about Miro having the championship, but he says, so Billy Corgan's pit bull won the big gold, and now he gets a treat. That's great, but the thing is, it doesn't matter who owns the belts, because the board of directors runs the show here. I have the backing of our founder, an army at my back, and we will have We will show the world exactly how much power we actually wield here. Remember, Miro, you only have that belt because we let you keep it. When it's time to deliver it back to its rightful place around my waist, you can slink off back to the internet and play video games on a camera again. So Nick Aldis, the board of directors kind of took a backseat during the tournaments and during other things, but if you remember, Miro actually came in as a personal pick from Billy Corgan as a way to try to tip the balance of power in the NWA. Not necessarily towards his side, because he's not making an alliance, but really just more to try to disrupt the board of directors. And it seems like Nick Aldis has taken the bait there and seems to be calling out Miro. But Nick Aldis does have a sizable group behind him and the backing of Paul Pinky George III. So we will see how this plays out if it does tonight. In our main event, after previously to Nick Aldis talking, we have Eli Drake, also a member of the board of directors, in an exhibition match against Miro. It's got superb wrestling and great heat. They actually both do very well. Eli Drake had a 55 and Miro had a 70. Eli Drake, that doesn't seem right. Should have been Miro won by disqualification. Oh well, I guess Eli got a win. It should have been Miro wins through disqualification because we have a run-in from Nick Aldis to attack Miro. I don't know if the game has that set right. I swear I put Miro wins by disqualification. And for some reason, did I put it in wrong? Did we have our notes here? Eli, I guess I put it in wrong. Oops. Oh well, we called an audible. I guess I put Eli Drake in by accident, but Eli gets a win somehow through some dusty dealings. But it was supposed to be Miro getting the win, but from some bullshit. Miro's not upset though, so I guess who cares? Eli can get the win through the weird audible, through the weird ref dealings. But Nick Aldis comes in, attacks Miro, and at the end of the show, the entire board of directors comes out and attacks and assaults Miro, leaving him on the ground, kind of making their presence known. For some reason, Nick Aldis is struggling without a script. I don't know why. Leaves the show with a 48, kind of an underwhelming segment, but we do have a strong show of force from the board of directors saying, hey, we are here and we are not going to let you just walk on with that gold and expect to not have to face us in some capacity. Show gets a 49, a little bit lower than our previous show, unfortunately. But 49 is enough for us to get popularity increases in all regions. And what I'm very excited about is to take a look at what our viewership is on our new deals on MAV TV and see what our financials are going to look like. All right, let's see what we got. Pay raise request from one of the Von Erichs. We're only paying you 30 appearance. Yeah, we'll give you the full thing, give you that boost. That's absolutely fine. We don't care about what's going on in Chikara. So we had a 0.15 in our ratings, which is much higher than I think we were doing on YouTube. Unfortunately, they were unhappy with our minimum requirements for both of that. We'll have to take a look at what our requirements are. We're going to have to play smarter with our roster, and maybe that will be about looking at some scouting and seeing who we can get into the show to boost some ratings. Let me take a look real quick at what our requirements were. Minimum quality 50. We were almost there. Actually, I'm not too concerned. Actually, TLN has a higher rating. That's interesting. So we got to play a little bit smarter about that. We can look here now and see if we got any broadcast revenue. I'm going to say this is going to be very successful because just this month on this first show, we made $5,000 in advertising. Unless this is just for the month already, I do not know. Because our broadcaster paid us nothing, which seems weird. Just a little bit weird. But if that's not the case, we'll have to see if this goes up through advertising revenue. I think this broadcaster is just if they pay us to be there. I think advertising revenue is actually from the show each time. Does not say here. So if that's the case, we're gonna make like $5,000 per episode. Would actually be a huge boon for us. We can really scout to find some big names and make the NWA where the big dogs play, I suppose. So we'll have to be a little bit smarter with how we book. But overall, I think 50 is obtainable. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do on Mav TV now. Anyways, guys, that was it for me today for this episode of NWA. Thank you for joining me. I will see you guys next time.